What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some basketball games for Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon, where my picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please see the pinned comment in this video below. I wish you guys the best luck on all your picks for this day, for these games. Let's go ahead and get into the games. We're going to be looking at all 4 games for the first round of Sweet 16. March Madness Championship. We're going to be doing Michigan State, Kansas State, Arkansas, UConn, Florida Atlantic, Tennessee, and Gonzaga, however you want to pronounce it, and UCLA. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. The way that I have it structured here is I have the quote-unquote road team, which is not really a road team. This is neutral location. But the team on top, I have their coach's record, their season record, their tournament record as a team, and any other notes that I want to add, such as their name Gematria, as well as any winning or losing streaks that they're on. Obviously, every team is going to be on some winning streak. But if it's more than, 5-6 games, I'll add that. Like Gonzaga, they have 11-game winning streak. In the middle is the all-time head-to-head records between the two teams. And then at the bottom is the other team, their season record, their tournament record as a team, their coach's record, and any other notes that I want to add. Let's go ahead and jump into the first game, starting with Michigan State versus Kansas State. So I usually go over the home team first in these games, but since it's on a neutral court, I'll just start with the bottom team, the team that's on the bottom, and then I'll go over some numbers for the team that's on top. So starting with the bottom, Kansas State, what can allow Kansas State to win this game is that this is their 35th game for the season, and they could become 3-5, like 35 head-to-head against Michigan State all time with a win, as Kansas State sits on 35 tournament losses as a team with the win, as Michigan State gets their 35th tourney loss as a team. The words Michigan State Spartans sums to 84. This is the 84th NCAA March Madness tournament. Kansas State can get their 40th tourney win as a team in the 84th tourney. 84, if you spell it out, or excuse me, not 84, 40, if you spell it out, sums to 84. If that were to happen, they become 40-35 for a tourney record as a team, whereas 40 sums to 84. They would be playing on Saturday. Let's go over to Saturday's numbers. Saturday would be the 84th day of the Gregorian year, a day with 35 and 51 date numerology on the Gregorian. 40, if you spell it out, sums to 51 and 84. So Kansas State, with the win here, could become 40-35 for a tournament record as a team to head into Saturday's game on a day with 35 and 51 date numerology, the 84th day of the Gregorian year, and they would have done it beating Michigan State or Michigan State Spartans, which sums to 84. That's being the 84th NCAA tournament. And Kansas State, it would become 26-9 for a season record with the win. 269 is the 57th prime number. 57, spell it out, sums to 49. And Thursday's game will be a day with 49 date numerology on the Gregorian. So a little bit of a look-ahead spot for Kansas State and their tourney record as a team if they were to advance into Saturday's game. On the flip side, though, Michigan State, if Michigan State was going to win this game, one thing that's interesting about Michigan State is their last game that they played against the number 2 seed. It's the number 7 seed versus the number 2 seed, and they picked up their 72nd tourney win as a team. Well, now they're playing as the number 7 seed versus the number 3 seed, like 73, and they can go ahead and continue that pattern and pick up their 73rd tournament win as a team. They would sit on 12 losses for the season. You can look at it as 7-3 or 3-7, like 37, the 12th prime number. And in regards to Saturday being the 84th day of the Gregorian, this being the 84th NCAA tournament all time, Michigan State Spartans summing to 84 could be their ticket. It could just be as simple as them summing to 84, going to play on the 84th day of the Gregorian. And they would get their 73rd tourney win, the 7 seed versus the 3 seed. We already saw them get their 72nd tourney win facing the 2 seed as the 7 seed, so that pattern could continue. Outside of that, I wasn't really too sure on them getting their 22nd win for the season. Nothing really jumped out at me on that one, at least for date numerology on this day, Thursday. And Michigan State, they could become 6-2 head-to-head against Kansas State all time. I wasn't sure if anything jumped out at me on that one as well. 62. I mean, not really. I guess you can say Saturday will be the 3rd day of the 7th month on the Hebrew civil calendar, like 37, the 12th prime. That could be a reason why Michigan State sits on 12 losses heading into Saturday's game if they win here. And then it also would support them becoming 7 or getting their 73rd tourney win as a team. The 7 seed versus the 3 seed. And then they would head into Saturday on the 3rd day of the 7th month, like 73 or 37. That could be something to look ahead. And then, of course, it's the 84th day. Michigan State Spartan sums to 84. I think that's probably what we're looking at for both of these teams here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I don't want to take up too much time. Arkansas versus UConn. Arkansas versus UConn. So we're starting with the team on the bottom, and then we'll go over some numbers for the team on top. So UConn, they could become 28-8 for a season record with a win, and they would do it by facing Arkansas Razorbacks, which sums to 288. Now, we saw this play out in favor for Arkansas on the weekend when they upset Kansas, the number 1 seed. It was Saturday, a day leaving 288 left in the Gregorian year, and Arkansas Razorbacks sums to 288, and Kansas became 28-8 for a season record with a loss. Now, UConn could get the beneficial side of the 288, whereas Kansas didn't get the beneficial side. UConn could potentially get the beneficial side and become 28-8 for a season record to advance, doing it over Arkansas Razorbacks, which sums to 288. UConn Huskies sums to 51. They could become 5-1 head-to-head against Arkansas all time with a win. They would play on Saturday. Saturday will be a day with 51 date numerology. On top of that, Thursday would be the 23rd day of the 3rd month for the Gregorian, 233. 23rd day of the 3rd month, 233, the 51st prime number. And this being the 84th NCAA tournament, this is the only 8 seed versus the 4 seed for the entire tournament. The 8 and the 4, the 4 and the 8. Let's go 84 again, sums to. Oh, yeah. 84 sums to 62. Actually, you know what? That can actually be a thing for Michigan State. I didn't even think of that. 6-2. Michigan State could become 6-2 all-time headed against Kansas State. Spartans 84. But anyway, 84 This is the 8 seed versus the 4 seed, like 84. This is the 84th NCAA tournament. Whoever wins this game goes on to play on Saturday, the 84th day of the Gregorian. If you write out 84, it sums to 62. And UConn can get their 62nd tourney win as a team to advance into Saturday's game. 84th day of the Gregorian, a day with 51 date numerology on the Gregorian. And that's kind of what I would put for UConn. If Arkansas was going to advance, we can look at the 51 number again. Arkansas is looking for their 51st tourney win as a team. They can get it playing against the UConn Huskies, which sums to 51. And then they would head into Saturday on a day with 51 date numerology for the Gregorian. And of course, I already mentioned that it is the 23rd day of the third month, 233, the 51st prime number. 233, the 51st prime. 233 is the 13th triangular number as well. And Arkansas can sit on 13 losses for the season as they get their 51st win for the season on March 23rd or 23/3. It will be the 179th day of the Hebrew civil calendar, the 41st prime number. Arkansas coach can sit on 41 losses as a coach for Arkansas with the win. 41, the 13th prime number. That can also support Arkansas sitting on 13 losses with the win. It's a day with 69 date numerology on the Gregorian. Arkansas coach could become 96-41 for a record as a coach for Arkansas with the win. 96-69. They're just reflections of each other. It's his 137th game. 137, the 33rd prime number. It being a day with 33 date numerology on the Gregorian. And then UConn would get their 33rd tourney loss as a team to go with. In their coach's 156th game as a coach for UConn. If you write out 33, it sums to 156. So that would be both sides for that game. Let's move on to the next one here.
Sorry to interrupt this video, you guys, but I need a huge favor from you. Can you go ahead and like this video and leave a comment below on who you think's going to win? It's going to help with the YouTube algorithm. It's going to help grow my channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
We got Tennessee versus Florida Atlantic. I couldn't find the head-to-head matchup between these two teams, so if anybody knows what it is, put it in the comments below. But starting with Tennessee, it is going to be a day leaving 276 left in the Hebrew civil calendar. Tennessee coach can get his 176th win as a coach specifically for Tennessee. Tennessee can get their 26th win for the season as they get their 26th tourney win as a team. I didn't see any direct connections to the 26 on the calendar for this day, but the only time they could get their 26th win and their 26th tourney win as a team if it would happen right here in this game. But Tennessee is the 4th seed. Florida Atlantic is the 9th seed, 4994. It is a day with 49 date numerology on the Gregorian. Florida Atlantic can get their 4th loss for the season in their 4th tourney game as they end their 9-game winning streak. 4994. Florida Atlantic would sit on 33 wins for the season on a day with 33 date numerology. 33 written out sums to 60, and their coach would get his 60th loss to go with. On the flip side, though, Florida Atlantic could just go ahead and get their 34th win for the season. Today with 69 date numerology, 69 sums to 139, the 34th prime number. Florida Atlantic would become 3-1 for a tourney record with the win. 3-1, like 31, the 11th prime, as Tennessee gets their 11th loss for the season. And then Florida Atlantic would head into Saturday's game on the 3rd day of the first month for the Hebrew religious side, like 31. The 3rd day of the Hebrew religious year, as they sit on 3 losses for the season with the win. And instead of Tennessee getting their 26th win for the season as they get their 26th tourney win all time as a team, they can simply just sit on 25 wins for the season as they sit on 25 tourney wins with the loss as a team. Florida Atlantic is the 9th seed. Instead of ending their 9-game winning streak, instead their coach can get his 99th win for his career as they advance. And last game up here, Gonzaga versus UCLA. Starting with the bottom team, UCLA. UCLA can get their 32nd win for the season, this being the number 2 seed versus the number 3 seed, like 32 or 23, however you want to look at it. UCLA can get that 32nd win for the season. Gonzaga, this is their 36th game for the season, which has a square root of 6, and they can get their 6th loss for the season to end their season. This is their 68th tourney game as a team, and their coach can sit on 688 wins with a loss. I didn't really see anything for the 115 for UCLA, so I'm not too sure there. But UCLA can become 3-5, like 35 head-to-head against Gonzaga with a win, as their coach sits on 35 losses with a win as a coach for UCLA. And that's about what I have. I think it's just going to come down to that 32. Is it the 32? The 3 versus the 2 seed? Look at Saturday's numbers. Saturday does have 35 date numerology. Could be a reason why UCLA coach sits on that 35 losses with the win. But outside of that, if we look at Gonzaga, if Gonzaga was going to win this game, well, the words Gonzaga Bulldogs sums to 71. This is on Thursday. This is the first day of the 7th month for the Hebrew civil calendar, like 17 and or 71. And Saturday's game will be a day with 71 date numerology on the Gregorian. So maybe we will see the Bulldogs on Saturday because of that. Gonzaga Bulldogs sums to 163 as well. And UCLA could become 31-6 for a season record with a loss. 316, 163. They're just anagrams of each other. And it would take place in the 84th NCAA tournament, which sums to 136. 136, 163, 316. These are all just anagrams of each other. And if Gonzaga Bulldogs do advance into Saturday's game, it will be the third day of the first month for the Hebrew religious side, like 31, and they would go into that game with 31 wins for the season. Now, something interesting for Gonzaga is they can get their 44th tournament win as a team, as they get their 12th win in a row and head into a game on Saturday with 71 date numerology. Gonzaga Bulldogs sums to 71. The reason why I bring that up is 71, if you write it out, sums to 141, which has a square root of 12 and is the 12th Fibonacci number. But the number 44 also sums to 144. So they can get that 44th tourney win as they get their 12th win in a row. 44 written out sums to 144, the 12th Fibonacci number, which also has a square root of 12 as they get that 12th win in a row. Heading into Saturday's game on a day with 71 date numerology, 71 written out sums to 144. Gonzaga Bulldogs sums to 71. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I have for right now for these games. Going on 20 minutes now. I didn't want to make it too long for 4 games, but kind of did. I'm sure there's other things here we can find, but that's kind of the gist of it for each 4 of these games. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you insight to these games, get you started on a decode, add to a decode that you already have. I really wish you guys the best luck on all your picks. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the support. Hopefully you win all the money in the world, and I'll see you guys in the next video.